muna fata mun saba musu ko mun taka hakkin su a ciki watakila ba da sanin mai gidana ne ba su yafe mana amma muna musu godiya ba iyaka.
Hello guys, you're welcome back to our channel and thank you so much for stopping by. You know, there is a common say that when a man is dead or gone, we should remember the good he did. We should let go of anger. We should allow the dead to rest. That is what Aisha Buhari wants from Nigerians right now. According to her, she says that her husband asked her to beg Nigerians for forgiveness before he died. But with all due respect, there is a problem. You don't beg people for forgiveness after doing nothing to correct your mistakes while you were alive. You don't wait until the final moment to ask for mercy when you showed none during your time in power. You don't call for peace when your hands are stained and your silence enabled some of the darkest chapters in our recent history. Aisha said he was just a man, human, flawed and capable of good and mistakes. But when a woman signed up to become a president of over 200 million people, he stops being just a man. He becomes a symbol. And that symbol carries consequences because the weight of that office means you can either lift a nation or suffocate it. Buhari did not just make mistakes. He made decisions that broke Nigeria as a country. This man ordered the military into the streets of Lagos and innocent young Nigerians were gunned down at Lekki Toll Gate. They were singing the anthem, waving the flag, begging for their lives, and they were shot. Until today, there has been no justice. No apology, no accountability. What kind of leader allows his army to kill his children in cold blood and keeps quiet? What kind of president watches a massacre unfold on camera and chooses silence as his response? And yet, now, after all these years, Aisha is asking us to forgive him. Not with a truth commission, not with confessions, not with justice, just with words, empty words delivered after death. And what about the economy? Let's talk about the economy under this man, Muhammadu Buhari, the one he promised to fix, the one he said would take a new height. Nigeria entered 2 recessions under Buhari. Inflation soared, the naira collapsed, millions were pushed into poverty, prices of food and fuel became unbearable, businesses crumbled, families were broken, and while the people were suffering, this man spent billions flying to London for medical treatment, while our own hospitals had no beds, no lights, no equipment. That is what Aisha Buhari is asking us to forgive. He spent 8 years in power and still died in a foreign clinic, not in the presidential wing of a world-class Nigerian hospital they spent 21 billion to renovate or to build, not in the care of a system he helped build because he didn't build anyone. He ruled like a visitor. He governed like someone who had no plans of living with the consequences. He abandoned the people who trusted him. And what did we get in return? Secrecy, censorship, crackdown. During his time, journalists were harassed, protesters were jailed, Twitter was banned. Let me just be remembering you people what Aisha Buhari is telling us to forgive, because you know some Nigerians, they can forget easily. Whistleblowers were silenced. He said he was fighting corruption, but only the opposition seemed to get arrested. His own allies walked free at a time. They looted freely at a time. APC, his own party, became a safe haven for corrupt politicians, and some of them were even promoted and rewarded for being corrupt. So now we ask, forgive him for what exactly? For looking away while terrorists killed thousands in the north? Or letting bandits rule the highway? For letting school children being kidnapped again and again with no real consequences? For saying Boko Haram was technically defeated while villagers were being slaughtered? They want us to treat this like a minor missteps, like he was just another leader who tried his best. No, this was a presidency that failed spectacularly, and the people are still paying the price. And if Aisha truly wants forgiveness, she should start by telling us the truth. She should answer what nobody has dared to answer. Is the man they just buried really the same man some Nigerians voted in 2015? Is this man that same man that Nnamdi Kanu said he died in 2017? Because if she wants us to forgive, then she must be willing to confront the ghost. You can't plead for mercy and still play the game of silence. You can't ask for healing while hiding the wound. Aisha knows the truth. She saw the failures. She spoke out in whispers, in interviews, in coded language. But at the end, she stayed. She watched it happen. And now, she's delivering his final message like it is a letter from a dying saint. He was a president, and presidents answer to the people, even in death. We are not asking for perfection. We are asking for truth, for justice, for clarity, because until those things come, forgiveness is just another political slogan, another attempt to wash away blood with poetry. Nigerians are tired of being betrayed, tired of being blamed, tired of being told to move on while the damages remains. If Aisha wants forgiveness, let her say what really happened. Let her admit what was broken. Let her tell us what he couldn't say while he was alive. That is the only way healing can begin. The most painful thing is that it is always the same circle. They come into power with promises. They raise our hopes, swear oath, speak grammar about change. Then they fail us spectacularly. And when it is over, they ask for forgiveness. As if we are the ones who are too stubborn to forget. As if we are the ones holding on to pain unnecessarily. But the truth is, Nigeria never had the privilege to heal because those who hurt this country never paused long enough to admit what they did. Buhari had 8 years to speak to the people. 8 years, 8 good years to take responsibility. 8 years to say, I got it wrong. He never did. Not once. He blamed the system. He blamed the past. He blamed the opposition. But he never looked the Nigerian people in the eyes and said, I failed you. And now, when he is gone, it is Aisha Buhari standing in front of us, asking us to understand, to soften our heart, to forgive. I don't want to make this video since because I know I just have a whole lot to say. How can a people forgive a man who never even acknowledged the depth of the wound he caused? Forgiveness is not old, it is earned. And if Buhari wanted forgiveness, he should have started by standing with the parents of Chibok and Dabchi. He should have visited the graves of the young men and women killed at Tollgate. He should have visited the market and see the hunger in the eyes of the people whose purchasing power was destroyed under his watch. But he didn't. Instead, he insulated himself in silence, and his spokesperson came out to tell us that he has chosen silence as his style of governance. He shut out the voices that cried out the loudest and became a ghost even before death came. And now that he is truly gone according to them, the only message left behind is an apology whispered through his wife, a final note from a man who never gave us the courtesy of speaking when it mattered. But we will never forget. We remember the farmer who was adopted and never returned, the child who died from hunger in a displacement camp, the journalist who went missing for reporting too much truth, the young man who went out to protest and never came back. We remember the fuel lines, the currency redesign disaster, the silence when Nigerians begged for just a few minutes of clarity. And that is the thing. Nigerians are not unreasonable. We know leadership is hard. We know no president is perfect. But when you lead with arrogance, rule with iron, and live without accountability, you don't get to request a smooth ending. Aisha wants us to close the chapter, but some chapters don't close. They remain open because justice was never served, because stories were never finished, because too many people were left in the dark waiting for answers that never came. And maybe that's what hurt the most. Not just what Buhari did, but how little he thought of us while doing it. Like we were too weak to question him, too poor to matter, too scattered to resist. But Nigerians are watching now. We are documenting, we are remembering, and we are talking. This generation is not waiting for history books written by the state. We are writing our own records. We are naming the pain, and we are refusing to forget. Because if we forget this one, we forget the next one before they even commit their crimes. And that is how nations decay, not just from bad leaders, but from a people who were trained to forget. So no, this is not just about Buhari alone. It is about the system he represented, the culture of silence, the refusal to apologize until it is too late, the arrogance that assumes the people will always move on. But sorry to disappoint you, not this time. We are not angry, we are awake. We are not vengeful, we are demanding the truth, demanding accountability, demanding that future leaders know that they cannot rule Nigeria and leave it worse than they met it, and expect flowers at the end. The apology is noted, the plea has been heard, but forgiving, that will take time. And until we get answers, until we get justice, until we get the full truth, Nigeria will never forget. And that is it for you all, my people. I'm just going to leave you all to share your thoughts with me on the comment section. And with all of that being said, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye-bye. Bye.